Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I know it's been a little while since I posted one. I think it's been about a week now, so sorry about that. I did say in my last video that I did have a really super busy, stressful week coming up, and I did have a really stressful, busy week over the last Monday to Friday, and there is still a little bit of that carried on into the weekend, so I have still got some stuff to do after I finished filming this video. So I didn't have any time to get up another video for you guys last week, which I'm super sorry about, but hopefully when everything has completely calmed down I will be able to get another video out to you guys before next weekend. Yesterday I guess I should have posted a video because I normally post my weekly wrap-ups on Saturdays, but yesterday I just kind of felt that I've had such a full-on week that I probably need to exercise some self-care and just take that day for myself, just completely chill out. And let me tell you, after the kind of initial am I being selfish and lazy, should I be doing something else kind of thoughts and feelings kind of died down, it was actually a really lovely day. Honestly, I just felt so relaxed last night. I really did. I watched like 4 hours of Catfish, and I spent about £70 on myself in Primark, buying some really lovely things, and it was just so nice to just kind of indulge in some stuff that I didn't have to think about, because that is constantly what I'm doing. I'm constantly thinking and doing, and my brain is just going into overdrive and it's getting really tired, and obviously when it's tired it doesn't work very well. So I just needed that time to myself, not to worry about, you know, what I look like as well, which is why I didn't film yesterday. I just wanted that time to just completely switch off from all stresses. So that is why you are getting this video today instead of yesterday. This video is going to be a mishmash of a lot of things. I haven't actually had that much time to read recently, which I'm really super sad about. So the recently read section of this video is only going to contain 2 books. Which I do feel quite bad about, and now I kind of feel like I want to read all of the books to make up for that. So I'm going to do the recently read books first, and then I'm going to talk about the book that I'm currently reading, and then I'm going to do my June TBR. So I thought I would just tack my TBR into this video, because otherwise you're not going to get my June TBR until like halfway through next week, and I just kind of feel that that's really late to be doing a TBR. So I'm going to get on with this video finally. So I recently read 2 books and I gave both of them 4 stars. So the first one that I read, not last week actually, the week before last, is The Wisdom of Sallee Red Shoes by Ruth Hogan, and this is an adult contemporary that has very recently come out. Ruth Hogan is known for her book The Keeper of Lost Things, which I haven't read but I do have a copy of, and The Wisdom of Sallee Red Shoes follows the story of a woman called Masha, who used to be a very outgoing, rebellious woman. She had a young son, and 12 years before the action of our narrative, her son went missing, and his body was never found, but he has been presumed dead, and Masha has gone on to mourn him as if she knows that he died. And basically, as part of her grief, 12 years on, she has become a little bit of an eccentric, and she started spending a lot of time in graveyards, and she talks to the inhabitants of this graveyard, and she kind of has these little strange conversations with them. She makes up stories for how she thinks their lives would have been, and they apparently talk back to her and things like that. And she also spends a lot of time at her local Lido, her outdoor swimming pool, where she practices holding her breath underwater because she wants to know what drowning feels like, because her son went missing near a body of water and she assumes that he drowned, and because she kind of feels like it's her fault he went missing, she's kind of punishing herself almost by kind of reconnecting with her son in the form of practicing drowning, if you know what I like. So that is Masha's sad little existence, and she kind of has these 2 chance encounters with these 2 very eccentric, quirky older women, and just by spending time with them and having conversations with them, she kind of learns to live again. She rediscovers her passion for life through these women. It's very, very quirky. It's very strange. It's very, very funny at certain points as well. It's obviously a very emotional too. It's very uplifting. There is a twist towards the end, which I'm not going to talk about because there is actually a second narrative running through this about a woman who is struggling to bring up her teenage son, and Masha's story and this other woman's story, the connection between them doesn't really become apparent until right near the end where the twist is revealed. So obviously I'm not going to talk too much about that, but it was awesome when it was revealed. I was like, oh my god, everything makes sense now, which I really, really liked. So yeah, it is very quirky, very, very odd, but really, really funny and uplifting, and obviously quite sad in some points as well. So yeah, 4 stars to this. Give it a read if it sounds like your kind of thing. And the second book that I have recently read, I also gave 4 stars to, and that is America for Beginners by Leah Frankie. And this is a arc. I think this comes out in either late July or August, and this was a book I had to read for a reason that I'm not going to talk about at the moment. I will tell you in a few weeks' time, I think. But this is the story of a elderly Indian widow. She's recently widowed, and she decides that she is going to fly from Kolkata in India, where she lives and where she's lived her entire life, all the way across the world to Los Angeles, because her son moved there many years before when he came out as gay to her and her recently deceased husband, and both of them and the entire family basically shunned him because of his sexuality. So because of this, he moved to Los Angeles, and now that her husband has recently died, she kind of feels that this is the time for her to go and find her son and hopefully rekindle a relationship. She's heard rumours that her son may have died, and she's kind of still holding on to hope that he's not dead and that she will be able to find him and make it all up to him. So in order to do this, because apparently Indian women travelling on their own is completely unheard of and absolutely ludicrous to the culture that she is from, she has to do this through a tour company that specifically caters for Indian tourists in America. So she organises this tour all the way across the country with this tour company, and she also insists that she has a female companion with her, and that ends up being a young struggling actress from New York called Rebecca, who is being paid for 2 weeks to travel across America with this Indian woman who she's never met before, but she is struggling, and she kind of feels that this would be a pretty good paid gig for her. So that's what she ends up doing, and these 2 unlikely travel companions, together with their rookie tour guide who has absolutely no idea what he's doing, basically go on this journey across America from New York to Los Angeles. And it is just really, really funny. It's really, really sad at points as well, but it's really, really uplifting too, because you just see the changes in these characters, how they're kind of leaving all of their old attitudes and beliefs behind, and they're finding new things about themselves, they're learning new things about the world and things like that. It's just a really, really lovely, funny little road trip story, kind of reminiscent of Little Miss Sunshine, which is one of my favourite films of all time. I think if you like Little Miss Sunshine, you will definitely like the kind of general sunny vibe that this book brings. So yeah, that is America for Beginners by Leah Frankie. Check it out when it comes out. So that is it for my recently read. The book that I am currently reading is Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero, and I am about 110, 120 pages into it so far. Absolutely adore it. Really, really love the writing style. It's just so unique and so tongue-in-cheek funny. Edgar Cantero knows exactly what he's doing with this story, I will say that, but I really, really love the characters. I'm really, really super into it, and I'm really sad actually that I don't actually have the time to really sit down with this book and digest it in the way that I want to, but every time I pick it up it always makes me smile, and yeah, so really, really looking forward to reading some more of this. So obviously we'll let you guys know exactly what I think when I have finished it, hopefully by the end of this week. So yeah. And now on to my June TBR. So June, if you guys don't know, is Pride Month, so I do have some LGBT plus themed books in this TBR, which I'm super excited to be getting to. I also have a couple of books left over from my May TBR that I didn't manage to get to that I still really want to read super soon. So one of those books is The Extinction Trials by S.M. Wilson, and this is a book that I have had for quite a long time. I believe the sequel is out now too, but all I know about this really is it is basically a cross between The Hunger Games and Jurassic Park. It's a YA dystopian, and the author I know is a really big fan of me and my channel, so thank you so much for sending me this book. I will be getting to it super soon. This is like a top on my priority list after I finish Meddling Kids. So yeah, that is The Extinction Trials. The next one that was also on my May TBR that I'm carrying over into my June TBR is The Colour of B. Larkham's Murder by Sarah J. Harris, and this is a book that I know I've said a lot of people at my work have really talked about and really raved about recently. This is a recently published book from HarperCollins. So this follows a boy who has a condition called synesthesia, which means that when he hears certain words or when he's in certain situations, he sees colours, which is a really interesting concept to me. I didn't even really know that that was a thing, and I think it's all about him dealing with a new colour that he recently saw when his neighbour went missing, and I think he may have something to do with her murder or something like that, and it's all about him trying to remember exactly what happened that night. It sounds really interesting, and I've heard absolutely amazing things about it, so yeah, really looking forward to getting into this one super soon. The next one is another book that everyone at work at HarperCollins has been raving about recently, and that is Vox by Christina Doucher. This is an ARC as well, but oh my god, I'm so excited to get to this. So it says on the cover, "Silence can be deafening," and then the back says, "Imagine a world in which you can only speak 100 words a day. Any more and 1,000 volts of electricity will course through your veins, but only if you're a woman." That sounds so interesting, so unique, and as I said, I've heard absolutely amazing things about it. I've heard it compared to The Power by Naomi Alderman. Is that her name? I think that's her name. But yeah, I've not read that book. I do actually have it on my Kindle, but that's won so many awards. So I've heard this is in a similar vein, so it sounds so interesting. So really excited about this one. The next one is hopefully going to get me in a lovely, happy, summery mood, and this is a recently purchased book for me. I just saw it and I absolutely needed it, and that is Meet Me at the Cupcake Cafe by Jenny Colgan. So I've read a couple of Jenny Colgan's books before. This annoyingly has the Works 3 for £5 sticker on it, which I'm super annoyed about. I'm going to have to try and very carefully prize that off later. But I have the Christmas version of this. I've got Christmas at the Cupcake Cafe, but that's like a sequel to this one, so I kind of needed this one so that I can read that book at Christmas, if you know what I mean, because this is the first one. So the back of this one says, Izzy Randall can bake. No more than that, Izzy can create stunning, mouth-wateringly divine cakes. After a childhood spent in her beloved Grandpa Joe's bakery, she's undoubtedly inherited his talent. When she's made redundant from her safe but dull city job, Izzy decides to seize the moment. Armed with recipes from Grandpa and with her best friends and local bank manager fighting her corner, the Cupcake Cafe opens its doors. But Izzy has absolutely no idea what she's let herself in for. It will take all her courage and confectionery to avert disaster. So that sounds super cute. I always really enjoy Jenny Colgan's books, and I really love cupcakes, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to love this book. So yeah, really excited for this one. And now on to my 3 LGBT plus themed books that I'm really hoping to get to this month. So one of those is a book that I know I should have read ages and ages ago, and that is Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan, and I can't believe I've read this book. I haven't read this book. I've had it for such a long time. I really have. The back just says, Will Grayson meet Will Grayson. One cold night in a most unlikely corner of Chicago, 2 strangers cross paths. 2 teens with the same name, running in 2 very different circles, suddenly find their lives going in new and unexpected directions, culminating in heroic turns of heart and the most epic musical ever to grace the high school stage. So again, that sounds really, really fun, really, really summery, and yeah, hopefully appropriate for this month's LGBT theme. So yeah, really excited for this one. The next one is Queens of Geek by Jen Wild, and again, I don't know too much about this. The cover obviously caught my eye. I think it's to do with a Comic-Con or something like that. Yeah, 3 friends, 2 love stories, 1 convention. Charlie likes to stand out. She's a vlogger and actress promoting her first movie at SuperCon, and this is her chance to show fans she's over her public breakup with co-star Reese Ryan. Then when internet famous cool girl actress Alyssa Huntington arrives, it seems Charlie's longtime crush on her isn't as one-sided as she thought. Taylor likes to blend in. Her brain is wired differently, making her fear change. And there's one thing in her life she thinks will never change, her friendship with her best guy friend, Jamie, no matter how much she may secretly want it to. But when she hears about a fan contest for her favourite fandom, she starts to rethink her rules on playing it safe. So again, that sounds really, really quirky, really nerdy, really, really cute. So yeah, definitely something that I'm in the mood for right now. And the last book on my June TBR is We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson, and I've heard so many good things about this. I know it's a perfect blend of genres. I think it's a romance, it's a sci-fi, it's possibly a dystopian, I think it's a mystery as well. It does have a really, really long blurb, but what the hell, I'm going to read it to you anyway, because it's definitely going to explain it a lot better than I ever could. There are a few things Henry Denton knows and a few things he doesn't. Henry knows that his mum's struggling to keep the family together and coping by chain-smoking cigarettes. He knows that his older brother is a college dropout with a pregnant girlfriend. He knows he's slowly losing his grandmother to Alzheimer's, and he knows that his boyfriend committed suicide last year. What Henry doesn't know is why the aliens chose to abduct him when he was 13, and he doesn't know why they continued to steal him from his bed and take him aboard their ship. He doesn't know why the world is going to end, or why the aliens have offered him the opportunity to avert the impending disaster by pressing a big red button. But they have, and they've only given him 144 days to make up his mind. The question is whether Henry thinks the world is worth saving. That is until he meets Diego Vega, an artist with a secret past who forces Henry to question his beliefs, his place in the universe, and whether any of it really matters. But before Henry can save the world, he's got to figure out how to save himself, and the aliens haven't given him a button for that. So that sounds really, really exciting, and yeah, definitely something that I am really, really excited for in the coming month. And that is it for today's video. What have you read recently? What are you hoping to read in June? Please let me know. I am still a little bit like all over the place in my head, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. But hopefully I'm going to be able to set aside the time to film some more videos for you guys and get them out to you as soon as possible. So as normal, I will leave all of my social media in the description down below. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.